Steve Prefontaine's unyielding passion ignited a revolution in American distance running. His fearless defiance of convention and unrelenting pursuit of greatness forged a legend that continues to captivate athletes and fans alike. Witness the untamed spirit of a champion who lived and died on his own terms. Steve Prefontaine was born on January 25, 1951, in Coos Bay, Oregon, a small coastal town nestled between the Pacific Ocean and the rugged Siskiyou Mountains. His birth coincided with a period of great change in America, as the post-war era ushered in an age of unprecedented prosperity and social transformation. The early 1950s saw the rise of suburbanization, the growth of the middle class, and an increasing emphasis on youth sports and physical education. Growing up in Coos Bay, Steve was surrounded by the majestic beauty of the Oregon landscape, with its lush forests, winding rivers, and scenic coastal trails. His childhood was marked by a sense of adventure and exploration, as he spent countless hours playing in the woods, fishing, and running through the rolling hills and beaches near his home. This idyllic setting would later inspire his love for the outdoors and inform his approach to distance running. Steve's parents, Elfriede and Raymond Prefontaine, played a significant role in shaping his early life and character. His father, a welder at the local shipyard, was a hard-working man who valued discipline and perseverance, while his mother, a German immigrant, brought a strong sense of determination and resilience to their family. The Prefontaines were a close-knit family, and Steve's parents encouraged his early interest in sports, supporting his participation in youth football, basketball, and track. As Steve entered his teenage years, he began to focus more intently on running, drawn to the individuality and challenge of the sport. He found solace in the rhythmic pounding of his feet on the pavement, the rush of endorphins, and the sense of accomplishment that came with pushing himself to new distances. Under the guidance of his coach, Walt McClure, Steve started to develop a rigorous training regimen, which included long runs through the coastal hills, interval workouts, and strength training exercises. The late 1960s were a time of great social upheaval in America, with the civil rights movement, the Vietnam War, and the emerging counterculture, all contributing to a sense of turmoil and change. In this context, Steve's early running career was marked by a desire to challenge conventional norms and push beyond established limits. He was inspired by the likes of Billy Mills, the Native American distance runner who won gold at the 1964 Olympics, and other pioneering athletes who were redefining the boundaries of human endurance. As Steve entered Marshfield High School in Coos Bay, he began to make a name for himself as a talented young runner. Under McClure's tutelage, he started to compete in local and regional track meets, quickly establishing himself as one of the top distance runners in Oregon. His early successes were marked by a fierce competitiveness, a willingness to take risks, and an unwavering commitment to his training regimen. These traits would become hallmarks of Steve's career, as he continued to push himself to new heights and challenge the status quo in American distance running. As Steve Prefontaine's high school career reached its crescendo, he began to attract attention from college coaches and recruiters across the country. His impressive performances at the 1969 Oregon State Championships, where he won the 2-mile event in a record time of 9 minutes, 1.4 seconds, and his subsequent victories at the AAU National Championships, cemented his reputation as one of the most promising young distance runners in America. It was during this period that Steve caught the eye of University of Oregon coach Bill Bowerman, who would become a pivotal figure in his development as an athlete. Under Bowerman's guidance, Steve enrolled at the University of Oregon in the fall of 1969, joining a talented group of distance runners that included Kenny Moore and Roscoe Devine. Bowerman's innovative training methods, which emphasized interval work, hill sprints, and long runs through the rolling hills and forests surrounding Eugene, proved to be a perfect fit for Steve's aggressive and competitive style. As he settled into his new surroundings, Steve began to flourish, setting multiple NCAA records in the 5,000 meters, 10,000 meters, and cross-country events. One of the most significant events of Steve's collegiate career took place on May 9, 1970, when he competed in the Pacific 8 Conference Championships at Hayward Field in Eugene. In a thrilling performance, Steve won the 5,000 meters in a time of 13 minutes, 29.6 seconds, shattering the existing NCAA record by over 10 seconds. This victory marked a turning point in his career as he began to assert himself as a dominant force in American distance running. As Steve's reputation grew, so did his rivalry with other top distance runners of the era, including Frank Shorter and Jack Batchelor. Their epic battles on the track, particularly at the 1971 AAU National Championships, where Steve won the 5,000 meters in a photo finish over Shorter, would become the stuff of legend among running enthusiasts. These rivalries not only pushed Steve to new heights, but also helped to elevate the profile of distance running in America, drawing larger crowds and greater media attention to the sport. In the summer of 1971, Steve traveled to Europe, where he competed in several high-profile meets, including the prestigious Prefontaine Classic in Zurich, Switzerland. On August 12, 1971, he set a new American record in the 5,000 meters with a time of 13 minutes, 22.4 seconds, further solidifying his position as one of the world's top distance runners. This European tour also provided Steve with an opportunity to learn from and compete against some of the best athletes from Europe and Africa, broadening his perspective on the sport and fueling his desire for international success. Upon returning to the United States, Steve began to prepare for the 1972 Olympic trials, which would be held in Eugene, Oregon. As one of the favorites to make the American team, Steve was determined to qualify for the Munich Olympics and compete against the best distance runners from around the world. The trials, which took place on July 1st to 2nd, 1972, proved to be a defining moment in Steve's career, as he won the 5,000 meters in the time of 13:21.8, earning himself a spot on the Olympic team alongside Shorter and Batchelor. As Steve Prefontaine stood atop the podium at the 1972 Olympic trials, his eyes fixed on the American flag waving gently in the Eugene breeze, he knew that this moment marked the culmination of years of tireless effort and unwavering dedication. The road to Munich, where the 1972 Summer Olympics would be held, was now paved, and Steve was ready to take on the world's best distance runners. On September 3, 1972, Steve lined up at the Olympic Stadium in Munich, surrounded by a sea of athletes from over 100 countries for the 5,000 meters final. The air was electric with anticipation as the crowd awaited the start of one of the most highly anticipated events of the Games. As the gun fired, Steve burst off the line, his stride long and powerful, his breathing rhythmic and controlled. He quickly settled into a pack of leaders, which included his American teammate Frank Shorter, as well as the Finnish runner Lasse Viren, who would go on to win the gold medal in a world record time of 13 minutes 26.4 seconds. Steve's aggressive tactics and fearless attitude earned him a 7th-place finish in a time of 13 minutes 28.2, a respectable performance considering the caliber of competition. Although he did not medal in Munich, Steve's Olympic experience had a profound impact on his development as an athlete and a competitor. He returned to the United States with a newfound sense of purpose, determined to refine his training and push himself to even greater heights. Under the guidance of Bill Bowerman, Steve continued to innovate and experiment with his training methods, incorporating strength work, hill sprints, and longer runs into his regimen. One of the most significant events of Steve's post-Olympic career took place on June 14, 1973, when he competed in the AAU National Championships at Hayward Field in Eugene. In a thrilling performance, Steve won the 5,000 meters in a time of 13:21.9, just shy of his American record. This victory marked a turning point in Steve's career, as he began to assert himself as one of the most dominant distance runners in the world. Steve's rivalry with Frank Shorter continued to drive him to new heights, and their epic battles on the track became the stuff of legend among running enthusiasts. On July 21, 1973, Steve faced off against Shorter at the Prefontaine Classic in Eugene, where he won the 5,000 meters in a time of 13 minutes 20.6 seconds, further solidifying his position as one of the world's top distance runners. As Steve looked to the future, he set his sights on the 1976 Olympic Games, which would be held in Montreal, Canada. He knew that he had the talent and the dedication to compete at the highest level, and he was determined to make a statement on the world stage. With his training in full swing, Steve continued to push himself to new heights, setting multiple American records and competing against the best athletes from around the world. In the winter of 1974, Steve traveled to New Zealand, where he competed in several high-profile meets, including the Auckland International Track Meet. On February 2, 1974, he set a new American record in the 3,000 meters with a time of 7 minutes 45.0, further solidifying his position as one of the world's top distance runners. Upon returning to the United States, Steve began to prepare for the 1975 season, which would be a pivotal year in his career. He knew that he had to stay focused and motivated if he was going to achieve his goals, and he was determined to do whatever it took to succeed. On May 28, 1975, Steve competed in the NCAA championships at Hayward Field in Eugene, where he won the 5,000 meters in a time of 13 minutes and 23.8 seconds, further solidifying his position as one of the dominant distance runners in the United States. This victory marked a defining moment in Steve's career as he continued to assert himself as a force to be reckoned with on the international stage. As the 1975 season drew to a close, Steve Prefontaine continued to dominate the distance running scene, his name becoming synonymous with excellence and dedication. On June 14, 1975, he competed in the AAU National Championships at Hayward Field in Eugene, where he won the 5,000 meters in a time of 13 minutes 22.9 seconds, further solidifying his position as one of the world's top distance runners. In the months that followed, Steve's training regimen remained intense, with a focus on strength work, hill sprints, and longer runs. He worked closely with Bill Bowerman, who continued to innovate and experiment with his training methods. On August 9, 1975, Steve competed in the Falmouth Road Race in Massachusetts, where he finished second behind Bill Rogers, a performance that demonstrated his ability to compete at the highest level on both the track and the road. Tragically, Steve's life was cut short in a car accident on May 30, 1977, at the age of 24. He was driving home from a party when his car skidded off the road and crashed, killing him instantly. The news of his death sent shockwaves through the running community, with tributes pouring in from around the world. In the years following his passing, Steve Prefontaine's legacy continued to grow, inspiring generations of distance runners. He was posthumously inducted into the National Track and Field Hall of Fame in 1976, and the University of Oregon dedicated a statue in his honor at Hayward Field. The Prefontaine Classic, an annual track meet held in Eugene, was established in 1980 to commemorate his life and achievements. Today, Steve Prefontaine is remembered as one of the greatest distance runners in American history, a trailblazer who paved the way for future generations of athletes. His legacy extends far beyond his impressive list of accolades and records, inspiring countless young runners with his courage, determination, and passion for the sport. The University of Oregon's Prefontaine Trail, a 4.8-mile running path that winds through the woods near Eugene, stands as a testament to his enduring influence, a reminder of the impact he had on the world of distance running. As the years have passed, Steve's story has been immortalized in books, films, and documentaries, ensuring that his memory will continue to inspire and motivate runners for generations to come. The Prefontaine Foundation, established by his family and friends, provides support for young athletes and promotes the development of track and field programs across the United States. He embodied the spirit of courage, determination, and passion that continues to inspire generations of athletes and individuals alike. His legacy is a testament to the power of hard work, dedication, and perseverance, reminding us that our greatest accomplishments often lie just beyond the boundaries of what we thought was possible. As Steve Prefontaine once said, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great," a profound truth that echoes through his life's work and continues to motivate us today. That's all for today's Sports Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Howard Closewell, reminding you to keep shooting for your goals.